In last week's video, I shared how I spent $12,000 on Etsy ads last year and whether or not I thought it was worth it. I also shared whether or not you should be running Etsy ads in your store today, so I'll go ahead and link that video down below if you missed it. In this video today, I'll share 4 tips on finding success with your Etsy ads. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Etsy starts you off with a very low budget for your Etsy ads. In the beginning, they might start you off with a budget of only $1 per day, $5 per day, or $10 per day. And they won't raise this until you start getting an increase in sales or if you start running profitable ads. So our goal is to get you to start spending some of that ad budget now, making more sales. That way they will go ahead and increase your budget so you'll have a larger budget to work with when it comes to Q4 and getting more Christmas sales. In this video, like I said, I'll be sharing 4 tips for you to find more success with your Etsy ads. I'll be covering how long you should be running your Etsy ads, what types of listings you should advertise, what budget you should use, and how to tell if your ads are profitable. So let's start with how long you should run ads. I would recommend running ads for a minimum of 30 days. This will give Etsy a long enough time to learn what types of shoppers really like buying your items and what types of keywords get you the best results on your listings. The first week or 2, your ads may not be super profitable. But this is when you'll learn which ones are getting the most search results and what keywords you're actually getting most of your conversions from. You can also monitor the exact keywords that are getting clicked from your Etsy ads. To see these, you'd want to go into your Etsy ads section, look at the advertised products, and then underneath the title of the product, you'll see search terms. If you go ahead and click on this button, it will take you to a page and show you exactly what keywords that you are coming up in the search results for. If any of these keywords are not relevant to what your item actually is, you can go ahead and toggle the on-off switch to off. That way it no longer wastes your budget on keywords that aren't actually converting for your listing. This is also why I said last week that it's very important to make sure you have a good understanding of SEO and how to make great titles and tags on your listings before you run Etsy ads. Because if you have a lot of only semi-relevant keywords in your title and tags, then the ads are going to be showing to people who may or may not actually be looking for your item. Now, tip number 2, what types of listings should you advertise? You want to make sure that you're advertising items that are currently in demand and popular right now on Etsy. One way to do this is to only advertise products that are currently getting sales in your Etsy shop today. Because it doesn't matter how much money you throw at a listing, if no one is searching those keywords right now, then you won't be getting sales. But the reason why you want to make sure that it's currently getting sales is because just because something's currently in demand and selling well for someone else doesn't mean that you actually have a competitive offering compared to the top sellers in that category. You want to really analyze and make sure that you have a competitive listing that isn't just a cheap knockoff of the exact same design. Make sure that you're trying to bring some other type of new value or new design style to those search results. Because if you're showing up in the search results as an ad right next to the top seller, you want to make sure there's a reason why they'd click and want to buy yours instead. Ideally, your listings will have gotten at least 2 to 3 sales in the last week if you're looking to spend ads on them, but ideally you'd be getting even more sales than that, like 20 or 30 per month to have these put on Etsy ads. One great way to make sure that you're always selling what's currently in demand is to try and think ahead 8 to 12 weeks on what's going to be selling in the future and apply the current trends that you see are popular right now into that niche a few months from now. So one example of that, if you were selling, say, in Halloween, there's a lot of Western themed Halloween shirts that are super popular right now. So if you're looking ahead and designing for, say, Christmas, New Year's, or anything that's popular in the beginning of the year, you could go ahead and put a Western spin on it and hopefully be the first to that new trend. And if you're not sure what niches are going to be selling 8 to 12 weeks from now, I did just release my niche calendar that's available in the description below. That is 47 different niches to sell throughout the year: holidays, seasons, appreciation days, and evergreen niches that can sell seasonally. And that will tell you when to start posting for them and when to stop posting for them, so you have an exact roadmap of what's coming next and how to be prepared in advance. On to tip number 3, what type of ad budget should you use? This depends on your risk tolerance and how many listings that you currently have that are already successful. If you're just getting started and you only have a few listings that are selling 2, 3, 4, 5 times, then I would recommend advertising just 5 or 10 of those listings for $5 to $10 per day in Etsy ads. However, if your store is doing a little bit better than that and you have a few listings that are selling 20 to 30 times per month, then this can be a great time to pour more gasoline on the fire that's already burning and run an ad budget of $20 to $40 per day, depending on how much you're able to spend, and then keep ramping up your ad budget as those ads get more profitable. At this ad budget though, it is going to be more important to watch your budget weekly to make sure that you're keeping your ads profitable so you're not cutting into your profits. So that leads us to tip number 4, how to tell if your ads are profitable. To understand if your ads are profitable, first you need to understand what your cost is per item. I do have a video I'll link down below that will help you figure out the total cost of your Etsy item and figure out what to sell it for and how much profit you'll be making. So feel free to watch that down below if you're not familiar. So let's run through a quick example together. Let's say you're selling a 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗖𝗢𝗗𝗘 sweatshirt on Etsy using Printify. In this example, I'm also going to be using Printify premium pricing, which is $29.99 per month, to get a discount on every item. With sweatshirts, you can save almost $5 per sweatshirt when you have Printify Premium. So you really only need to be selling 6 or 7 sweatshirts per month to make this discount worth it. So it's not something you have to buy in the beginning, but when you are ready to make that switch, I do have a code down in the description if you've never bought it before for a free month of Printify Premium, which is code 𝗗𝗓𝗏30, and my first name is in all capitals. So Monster Digital, after the Printify Premium, the price for their sweatshirts is $13.91 plus $8 for shipping. So the total cost of your item is $21.91. But now we need to figure out how much this would be after Etsy ads as well. So I'm going to come over here to my Etsy income and expense report. This is an income and expense report I sell down in the description, where you can track your yearly income and monthly be able to tell how much profit you're making each month with your print-on-demand business. But it also has a built-in Etsy profit calculator. So here I'm showing that if you're selling your sweatshirt for $38.99 and your cost is $21.91, after all of the Etsy fees, your total approximate profit would be $12.93. So then we need to take a look at how many sales we're getting versus how much we're spending and making sure that we're making a profit per sale. So let's take a look at this real life example from a few in my store. So this listing right here, I've sold 3 times with Etsy ads, and I've spent a total of $32.17. So if my profit margin was $12.93 per item, then I would have made $38 in profit off of these 3 sales and spent $32. So total off of spending $32.17, I made about $6 in profit total off of those 3 sales. Let's look at another example down here and pretend these were all sweatshirts. This one here I sold 3 times and spent only $20.29. So again, I'd be making that same $38 profit and would have made $18 in total profit off of those sales. Down here at the bottom is one last example. I made 0 sales and spent $8.78, so that one is obviously in the negative. I would monitor your ads weekly when you're spending over $20 per day on ads to make sure that you're not wasting money on your advertised products. I wouldn't recommend monitoring these daily, as profit margins can vary from day to day, so I would try and look at larger pieces of information like a whole week or a whole month on each listing. It's also important to remember that Etsy ads are never going to be ridiculously profitable with print on demand because of the lower profit margins. So we're aiming to make a profit overall with our sales, but the main objective here is to get more sales and more reviews for our listings, so that way they get boosted higher in the organic search results and show higher for potential buyers. Because every time your listing sells and gets a new 5-star review, it's going to rank higher and higher in the search results. So Etsy ads can get your listings to page 1 faster than selling just organically by itself. So I wouldn't measure your Etsy ad success based only off of exactly how much profit it's making off of the advertised items. You also want to consider how many more organic sales you're getting because of the extra sales that listing's gotten. One way that you can compare if this is making a big difference in your organic sales or not is you can compare on individual listings. You can look at these stats by going to the listings page. You can click on the little gear button in the bottom right-hand corner of the listing that you're advertising, and you can scroll down to the little graph that they have that'll show you how much of the percentage of sales that item is getting from ads versus how much from organic sales. Over time, in the beginning, this will look higher in the ads section, but after a few weeks or a few months, you should really see that the organic sales for this item start to outpace how many sales you're getting from ads. Because again, now that your listing's getting more traffic, more sales, and more reviews, it will now rank higher and get more organic sales in the Etsy results. Etsy ads, again, are a great way to get more sales in your store today, but by no means are they a passive income where you can just turn on the switch and walk away. Like I said, you will need to monitor these weekly and monthly to make sure that they stay profitable, and as seasons and holidays and trends change, you will need to add listings to this and take listings away. But learning how to use Etsy ads effectively for your store can really put you up there with the biggest shops on Etsy. There's tons of shops whose strategy is to use a $1,000 per day Etsy ad budget, and these are the shops you see that are selling over $1 million per year on Etsy. Now, your business may not look like that tomorrow, next week, or even next year, but it is important to understand that your Etsy business should be a long-term business plan. The next few years are going to pass anyways, so if you take your time now to really understand this business, learn how to advertise and effectively make great listings with great designs, then over the next 5 or 10 years, you can really grow your business to unimaginable heights and have the business of your dreams. So don't let anyone tell you that this isn't possible. There's thousands and thousands of successful Etsy sellers out there, and you can be one too. You just have to analyze your competition and be constantly learning and growing, and you will eventually get there. I really hope this quick tutorial was helpful for you, and as always, I appreciate you all staying all the way until the end. And I did want to say a huge thank you to all of my subscribers so far. I just very recently this week hit 20,000 subscribers. I never imagined I'd ever get that many, so thank you to everyone who likes and comments and subscribed to my channel so far. You're all so amazing, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe now if you enjoyed this content and want to see more of it in the future. But I will say that before I was answering all of my YouTube comments, but with all of my new subscribers, that's not going to remain sustainable quite as long. So I'll try and answer as many of your questions in the comments as I can, but I really do appreciate all of you being so understanding, and I'll see you in the next one.